last week, it may seem that you are getting bored, but may I assure you that I will present the old wine in new bottle this time. Okay, so it seems some of you may think that to understand philosophy is like climbing the uphill, but I may assure you that it will be a two-way process. You must also engage so that the presentation seems to be more lively, and you all get something more new from it. So let me start first from the hypothetical example. That is, imagine yourself to be driver of Delhi Metro Rail, and suddenly you notice that there are 5 workers on the rail. They are working, and your brake is failed. Now, if you will crash to them, they are going to die. There is no other chance that they will live alive. But suddenly you also notice that there is a diversion, and only one person is working on that. Now you have a choice, and as well as a dilemma, that your steering wheels are working. You have a choice to turn the steering wheels to the diversion, killing 1 people and saving other 5. So most of you will say that, yes, that seems to be reasonable choice. We can do that. Yeah, in fact, it is a fair choice. It seems that. But let me take a real life situation. That is the case of Queens versus Dudley and Stephens, a 19th century British law case. See, there was a ship that wrecked in mid of Atlantic Ocean, and there were 4 crew members. Among them was a 17-year-old boy, cabin boy Parker. They all survived on the lifeboat for next 19 days with the available resources, food and water, because they cannot drink the ocean water that is salty and harmful for our health. After 90 days, they all were exhausted, finding something, hoping for the God, but nothing was coming. Now, in fact, the 3 of them decided that one must die, so that one must die among 4, so that other 3 can survive. Now, Parker was not in that part, but other 3 persons killed the Parker with a penknife, and they ate him for the next 4 days. After that, they were being rescued by a German ship, but when they get deboarded at the London port, they all 3 were arrested. Now here is also a case. To kill a person to save the life of other 3. Does it seem reasonable here? No. Maximum of you will say that, no, it's not the right thing to do. But the London jury also ruled that a murder is a murder. What I here want to say that on one side there is a moral philosophy, that is consequentialist moral philosophy. On the other side, there is categorical moral philosophy. Let me start by consequentialist moral theory given by 18th century British thinker Jeremy Bentham. He is also known as the father of utilitarianism. He says that to decide the act or to be moral or not, we must see the utility from that act. That is, the maximum people must derive maximum benefit from that act. He says that human beings are governed by 2 sovereign masters, that is pain and pleasure. He says that to maximize pleasure must be our aim, and to reduce pain. So is the case of happiness and sorrow. By acting on his philosophy, we can say that Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, the case of hypothesis, seems to be reasonable. In fact, it is. Now, on the opposite side, the same almost opposite moral theory is of Kant. So you can identify him, Jeremy Bentham. He was a child prodigy, a professor in college in London. So he has done a great to his job, and many later day utilitarianism and moral philosophers are being influenced by him. Now, on the other hand, there is most tough philosopher. He is Immanuel Kant, a German philosopher. German philosopher, to the same timeline, he says that it's not good to use human being even for a good end. So he says that utilitarians were half right. The thing which differentiates us from the mere animal existence is not our principle to maximize pleasure, but the rationality, the thinking of rationality. He says that when we are maximizing our pleasure or even minimizing the pain, we are only acting as per our appetite or for those impulses. He says that that is not good. For him, the moral act is the act that is being backed by duty, a duty that is autonomous. He says that, let me give an example. Suppose a 12-year boy steals a loaf of bread from a bakery shop to save his ailing mother, who is being starved for many days. So many of you will say that this act seems to be good. To stealing here seems to be good. And majority of people says that. But for Kant, he says that stealing as an act is not fair, even for that purpose. If we generalize that act for the whole society, if whole society can steal, that will not be a sustainable situation. That can create a conundrum in society, so that is not moral. It's his point of view. So he is Immanuel Kant. Some more facts about Immanuel Kant. He was German thinker. He was unmarried for his whole life, but he liked to party. He was a sociable man, and he has never moved out of Paris. So that's also a great thing. To be a philosopher, thinking, sitting in Paris, influencing the whole world. So that is really interesting point. But now here lies the confrontation between the utilitarianism and the categorical. That is Kant and other side Bentham. Let me give you another example. Utilitarian says that Kant's philosophy of duty, that is categorical theory, is not backed by good thing. He says that suppose your friend is hiding in your room, in your place, in your home, and a murderer comes to your door and asks, is your friend sitting inside, is your friend inside your home? Now you have a chance to lie or tell the truth. Many of you will say that I will lie to save the life of my friend. Now it seems, and here the Kant was on the back foot. For this example, they have criticized, his critics criticized the Kant that you are on the back foot, but later in his life, Kant said that, yes, that is a technical point, but he says that I will be saying misleading truth instead of a lie. He will say that I don't know where he is. He may be sitting inside a cupboard in his home only. He says that I don't know where he is in my home, but where in my home I don't know. He says that I don't know where he is sitting. So he says that instead of telling lie, a misleading truth will be better. So there is the 2 points. Before I conclude, so let me give a bonus fact. Yeah, I will read that for you. Okay, he is the Jeremy Bentham, same Jeremy Bentham, the utilitarian, who says that to maximize pleasure over pain is the right thing to do. So Jeremy Bentham, before his death, addressed himself a question, consistent with his philosophy, that is, what use could be a dead man to the living? One use, he said, will be to make one's corpus available to a study of anatomy, but in case of great philosophers, however, better yet to preserve one's physical presence in order to inspire future generation of thinkers. So you can have a look over the corpus of Jeremy Bentham that is still preserved in the University College of London. So here is the philosopher who life or death adhered to his principle of his philosophy. Now you can see that 2 things. There is a wax head there, and the real head is kept over in the plate. So these are some philosophers who have influenced the world and will influence in the coming generation also. So this was my short presentation. If any one of you have any question, I will be happy to answer that.